today on Divorce Court.
Chris lies about everything. The worst thing that Chris ever lied about is whether or not he was using.
Brittany has problems with drug use. She keeps drugs around the house and she's a daily user.
When Chris is high, he is paranoid, he becomes obsessive, and he doesn't have very good judgment.
I can't trust Brittany because the lifestyle of using the drugs is deception and anything you can just to get your drugs.
I'm fearful of moving forward because he's lied to me way too many times. At a certain point, there's no going back.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Christopher Cote and Brittany Ewing. The two of you have been engaged for the last 4 months, but you're not quite sure whether or not this is the union for you, so you came before me. You gave me your marriage license with permission to tear it up should I think your union is ill-advised. You also filled out my compatibility test, and we'll go through that momentarily. Before we do, Mr. Cote, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your union and why you're here today?
I'm a Navy veteran and I served out in Afghanistan about 6 months. From there, I went into a toxic relationship. And after that, I met Brittany. We were both using, and it just became, it was using drugs, and that was just where we started.
Yeah, and that builds on itself. It kind of spirals down because your worst habit is her worst habit, and it becomes worse and worse as time goes on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you meet while using? You were in that environment, or did you happen to meet and realize you both used?
No, we met while using.
Okay. Ms. Ewing, I take it that's pretty much the case.
That's correct.
Okay. So, when did you first decide you liked him a little bit?
Well, I always knew Chris was a nice guy. He was fun to be around. We laughed a lot.
Yeah?
We had a good time. I mean, we were good friends.
Not bad looking either.
No, he's all right.
Wow, that was cold. that was really, really cold. I'm sorry, Mr. Cote, I didn't mean to go there. I thought it was going to be a good thing. When did you decide you liked her?
Just the way she made me feel. Like, we were laughing all the time, and she, especially since she came out of
Well, were you laughing all the time because you were high?
It could be. It's true. We were high off very often. And, you know, but the way she made me feel just made me feel like, that me as a person actually mattered. And when my last relationship made me not feel like that, and from the Afghanistan, part of my life makes me feel like, a lot of the stuff in the past was just holding me back from accepting myself again back into, civilian life.
That's very self-aware, Mr. Cote. I appreciate that assessment. It's hard for a lot of people to get to, and you see it right there. You may not be able to do anything about it at the moment, but you see it, which is wonderful. My understanding is that getting high or drugs being a prominent feature in your life has caused a number of things. One is both of you are kind of like paranoid and worried about things all the time, and that you're struggling staying off. Mr. Cote, why don't you tell me how you're doing in that arena?
Well, I have my good days and my bad days, and like an issue that happened with us was that just when we first got together, we decided that we were going to try to stay clean together, and that didn't work out too well. We got into our first apartment, and I ended up finding some drugs that I know definitely were not mine. I confronted her about it, and she admitted to it, and when one person uses, and it's the trigger for the next person to go back and using.
Right, right. Were you serious about, I take it you agree that you did make an agreement that you would not use, correct?
We did.
And you were serious about it at the time,
I was,
correct?
And what had happened is I had actually gone out of town. Before we moved into this apartment, I had gone out of town. We agreed that when I left, we were both going to stop. I came back, I found out that he had been using while I was gone. And so when I got back, I kind of felt like, well, that's not fair. You got to keep going. I've been clean this whole time, and I come back and find out, oh, now you're restarting. Now that I'm back, and so that is how that happened. I did so after that. I kind of felt gypped, I guess, and I started using, and that's when he found those.
Okay. What happened after he found out about it? What did you both fall down the rabbit hole together?
Well, yeah. He used what he found.
Right.
And when he uses everything about him changes. He becomes a different person.
And who does he become?
He becomes paranoid. He becomes obsessive. He becomes irrational. Just a totally different person when we were together than he was before we were together.
Now, if you're high too, does that not bother you?
It bothers me. It becomes a really big issue, I guess.
Yeah.
An even bigger issue.
Do you have fights because of it?
Yes, we definitely do. And, you know, I've known that I've become, you know, obsessive and, you know, just paranoid about every little thing that comes around. Like, there's times where she would say she goes to the store and I would never know, like, you know, going to the store for an hour maybe.
I would literally be at Walmart for 2 hours and he would flip out.
He would flip out.
Flip out. I'm a shopaholic, so I can be in the store for hours, literally.
So when you say flip out, what does that entail?
That entails blowing up my phone with text message after text message after text message after text message after text message to where I can't even keep my phone charged because
No
he's
kidding.
sending so many messages and calling me so much. He will go online and be looking at postings of girls who are selling themselves online, saving these naked pictures of these women and sending them to me, accusing me of being them and of selling myself online. And like we'll have spent out, like he's done this multiple times.
Accusing her of being these naked women on, you thought that was her?
Yes.
Yes.
Down to, that's your bracelet.
Wow.
I know you have that underwear. That's the shirt I bought you. Yeah, and none of these women are me.
Have you ever become afraid of him?
Once or twice, not too often. I mean, he's not, but there are times where
He's
I know,
not physical with
No, never. But I do know that if he's not, if his reality is not reality,
Right.
then I don't know, then that kind of, it opens up the door to a lot of
all
other
bets
things.
are off. You don't know what'll happen.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you guys are sober now,
Yes.
Yes.
and you've been sober how long?
It's been about a week or so.
Okay. Hey.
Hey.
It's a week. I celebrate all wins, even if it's 7 days in. I celebrate them.
Yeah.
Are you guys in a program? Or are you just white knuckling it? Just
White knuckling it right now.
It, you know, NA meetings, just doing what we can just to, you know, keep being positive and using that, you know, use positive reinforcement for our sobriety.
Now, if you get your hands on a little money, is that gonna be a problem?
No, not at all, because
I like to shop, so. I said I like to shop, so I can.
Yeah, well, you can go shop.
Yeah, I know, and I will, probably.
But you can go shop.
Yeah.
But don't do anything else with it. I know that coming here, you both wanted to come clean about some things, and each of you is hiding something from the other. So we're going to take this opportunity to come clean about those things. I wouldn't want to be with someone who wouldn't want to be with me, no matter the economic circumstances. She doesn't seem like that's her. So, Mr. Cote, I'm going to go to you first. What do you want to come clean about to Ms. Ewing at this point in time?
Your Honor, you know, she's very secretive about her phone, and there's many different things that I've noticed. Like, there'll be times where she's, you know, she's always has multiple numbers that are not contacts, you know, just always texting her. When she says she doesn't have friends, and she's constantly texting people, and, you know, it just doesn't add up. If you don't have a lot of friends, you're constantly texting people.
Who you texting?
Exactly.
Let's ask her. Who you texting?
I have acquaintances. I mean, like, I don't hang out with a lot of people. I don't consider a lot of people close friends to me, but I do know a lot of people. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You have friends, you have acquaintances. People are doing and there are people that I would hang out with and people that I wouldn't. There are people that say hi to me that I say hey back to, hey, how are you doing? But I'm not leaving to go hang out with them. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not doing anything with these people. So, I mean, I don't think there's any problem with me saying hi to my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, or if they say hi to me first.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if he had friends, I'm sure he wouldn't feel so bad about it.
in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're the fastest talker I've ever met. Ms.
Yeah.
Ewing, is there something you'd like to come clean about to Mr. Cote?
Oh, well, I feel like he's a liar because he lies to me about everything. And so I just feel like at this point I don't know the what's true and what's not. There was one time we were sitting in the garage of where we live, and a car pulls up, a girl gets out, and she says, is this address? And he says, no, it's not. And I'm thinking, okay, yes, it is, but I'm just gonna stay quiet. And so she goes down the street, she comes back, and she said, are you sure this isn't this address? Because I was talking to Chris today, and this is his phone number, and this is the address that he gave me, and are you sure? And he told her, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And so she left, and then I asked him, you know, what is she talking about? And he said, oh, my phone must have been hacked. I'd never talked to her on any app, because she said she had met him on an app. And he said, I never talked to her, I don't know what she's talking about. And, you know, it took maybe a couple months later, he admits to that he was lying.
Mr. Cote, are you up to no good and lying about it?
I was lying about it, Your Honor, but we were searching for a dog, and it wasn't the right type of
What
dog.
are you looking for a dog for?
We were
You
looking
guys,
for.
are you working?
I am, Your Honor.
You're working?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
And you're trying to stay sober.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're trying to get married. What you looking for a dog for?
Company.
It was more for both of us, because when I'm alone, we need it. It was helpful, and then when she's alone, sometimes she needs.
That's a good answer. Keep you busy.
Yes,
Yeah,
Your Honor.
that's true.
When you're not there, that's a very, very good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I always think of dogs as work, and that you didn't look like you were in a position to take something on, but I didn't think about it like that.
And I understand that he does have a lot of financial things that he's not able to handle right now, but we did agree going in that we were going to have that traditional style of relationship. And I mean, if that's not what he's able to provide, then then that's something we need to sit down and talk about and reevaluate maybe.
You willing to work for a while until he can get it together?
How long should a former addict be sober before getting into a relationship? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back.
I took a look at your compatibility test, and two things struck me. Number one, both of you are looking for a traditional 1950s styles marriage. You want to be at home, cooking and cleaning, housewife, and you want to be the breadwinner with a wife that's out at home, cooking and cleaning. That's true. And that's what you guys are both aiming for.
Yes,
Ain't
ma'am.
nothing wrong with it. As long as everybody's on board, it's a very good thing. So that's a good thing. Tell me about your financial situation, Mr. Cote.
My financial situation. So I was married before, and
Still married.
Oh.
still been trying to fight the divorce. It's just keeps on getting pushed back further and further along. And I've let her know this before, so she knew about everything that is going on in this.
Ms. Ewing,
Yes, ma'am.
are you distraught by the fact that he's still married?
Honestly, I'm not distraught by it. No, I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like there may be a reason that his marriage is not final yet. And I totally understand with the
What do you think
bankruptcy
that reason might be?
that maybe we're not supposed to get married yet, to be honest. But and I understand that he does have a lot of financial things that he's not able to handle right now. But but we did agree going in that we were going to have that traditional style of relationship. And I mean, if that's not what he's able to provide, then then that's something we need to sit down and talk about and reevaluate maybe.
You willing to work for a while until he can get it together?
I'm willing to work to support myself. Yes. I don't know if I'm willing to work to support a union that I'm not sure I want to be in. No. Does that make sense?
Interesting. So he gets his divorce. His finance situation is not going to be good. You two want to get married. Are you willing to work until he gets on his feet again economically? Or are you only willing to work if you're a separate sole entity and not planning to be together?
Kind of that one, to be
Really?
honest. Yeah, because I am a single mom. I do have a child. I mean, and I would rather, if I can, I'd rather spend that time at home. I want to have more children. Sooner than later, I'm not getting younger. So I'd like to have more kids. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. My kid is like, if I'm not there to pick her up to take her to school or to drop her off in the morning, who is? Nobody else is. If she wants to do after school activities, nobody else is there to take her but me.
Right.
So I'm going to have to find a graveyard job, essentially, so that I can continue to do all these things for her during the daytime. And so I will do, of course I will do all those things to support my daughter, but it's not going to be, if this is not the relationship that I thought I was getting into, then it's not the relationship I probably want to be in. Just being honest. I'd rather be alone.
Okay.
So I can do it by myself.
That speaks volumes. Did you hear that, Mr. Cote?
I did, Your Honor.
Is that news to you, or is that something you understood all along?
It's something that, I could understand, and, we've been living with family because, I did lose a job from the drug use.
Are you living with your side of the
with my
family?
side of the family. And, from there, after that, I found a job very, very quickly. Got a job not even a month out. I've been working where it's like 122 hours, in a paycheck period, which is a lot of hours. And, it's very difficult. We can't have a personal life, you know, because of living with family.
What do you got to say, Ms.
I would say
Ms.
that
Ewing?
he did find a job fairly quickly, quicker than most people would have, yes. But I feel like he did a lot of things on his time off that didn't make sense if you're a person who's looking for a job. If you're a person who's looking for a job, you'd think you'd want to at least stay clean, maybe, or you know, for that period of time, at least until you get that job.
Were you clean?
At least.
Were you clean
At
during that
least.
period of time?
No, but I was not working, and I don't go crazy when I use.
Okay. I think I see what's happening here, and I
didn't make it
I will
easier
see what
with both of us at home.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I wish I didn't, but I do.
Would you still get married if your fiancé decided not to work after marriage? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back.
She's honest.
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
And I think you ought to be happy that she is honest.
And I am, Your Honor.
Personally, I wouldn't want to be with someone who wouldn't want to be with me no matter the economic circumstances. I would want somebody who would, if I trip and drop the ball, will be more than happy to pick it up
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
run with me. She doesn't seem like she's that
Your Honor.
smart. You know, I don't know if she's with you now because you're providing a place, your family is providing her a place to stay or not. I don't know if that's happening. That's a possibility you might want to consider. I appreciate your honesty in this matter, Ms. Ewing, and I appreciate the fact that you know what you want. It's going to be hard to find a guy who's looking to deal with an addict,
I understand.
with a kid,
Yeah, I understand that part.
who wants to stay home and not work and support, and
I
that's the
understand.
sole thing. So
I'm definitely
just
working on myself as well. Your
yeah.
Honor.
I mean, I'm putting that out there
Yeah,
that you
definitely
know
working on myself as well.
Your menu is awfully long.
I know.
But you
That is
don't
true.
have a whole lot of check.
That is true, and I feel like that is true. But I also feel like if I would be willing to, you know, like there are times where I have stopped use for people. There are times where I have, you know, had to support a man. Where I've had to help support in a relationship. I just feel like if there's so many other things on the table that are dragging us down on the table as well, that it might not be worth it.
And I understand that. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
because
you
I'm
need
willing,
to
if
need to be
it makes sense.
knowledgeable about your negatives
I do.
so that you
I
don't
am.
turn down a small positive looking for a big positive that is unlikely.
I understand.
That's all I'm trying to say. I wish you both the best with respect to your addiction. Marriage is not at all in your near future. One, because you're not divorced. Number two, you guys got to handle individually your own addiction so you can come to each other whole and fresh. Marriage is hard enough when everybody's sober and sane. You know, but when you're fighting to stay sober, being with somebody who's also fighting to stay sober may not be the thing. That's what they tell you in NA. Don't hang out with other addicts. They tell you that for a reason. I wish you both the best. I hope this time next year we call you up and you're not at 1 week sober, you'll be a whole year sober. That's my hope for you. We just heard the case of a young couple whose drug abuse created a lack of trust in the relationship and prevented them from creating a lasting bond. If you are battling addiction, connect with the National Institute on Drug Abuse at 1-800-662-HELP or drugabuse.gov to find treatment options near you. Or if you're wondering how to support a loved one through recovery, visit National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence at ncadd.org. It's never too late to ask for help.